how you go from hello to yes on what you're looking for.
Sean is a master. He teaches. It's not just about sharing the formula with you. It's about making sure that we learn.
I went from $100,000 in debt from law school to having no money and starting my own law firm on my credit card to selling it 4 years later.
Sean and I, we co-created massive victories in 2 unwinnable jury trials, which are recognized nationally now as top 100 jury verdicts.
To be even on the same track with you, who I respect and admire and love with all my heart.
Never again submit. You're not better and you're not less than any human on earth.
When you shared with us about the unblinded process and the mastery sales training, I just went, wow.
Sean will gain proximity to the most influential and powerful people. He will find out how he can grow their business, how he can help them personally. But the third thing that he does is the most important. Sean serves without an expectation of getting anything in return.
You have very, very high-performing colleagues.
22 years ago, you transformed my life as you did all of these people's lives over the course of time. I couldn't be more grateful. Let's hear it for Tony Robbins.
I don't see him as a lawyer, and I don't see him as a blind person. Someone who has subjugated his ego, who has taught me what serving really looks like.
You have this incredible ability to just have unconditional love for everyone, and that is just an incredible gift.
The moment you have been waiting for.
The American Blind Association is the first new face and voice of that association since Helen Keller.
Formula for formulas, which is exactly what I've learned from Sean. It's a language-based predictable model. We will have over 300 new sales meetings this month.
This superpower in the world that is attainable for you is the ability to influence people. If you believe that, say yes. If you believe that, say yes. Do you think that worked? Bella Rita, I do think that worked. It is Andrea Catania's Heart of Influence on this Mastery Monday. We have some growth-driven, heart-centered, integrous people committed to mastery as we explore the superpower of influence. Bella, what's happening?
Sean, we definitely have some heart-centered, growth-minded individuals for the triangle of trust, impactful leaders, heart of influence. And Sean, what is the heart of influence anyway, and what are we doing here?
Yeah, so thanks for everybody for being here. What the Heart of Influence is all about is a very simple concept. All business is built on relationships. All relationships are built on shared experiences. So the very simple question becomes, what's the most efficient shared experience so we can meet our ideal folks to partner with, work with, do incredible things with? And since COVID happened, it's this. And that's a big statement, but we can prove that later. But let's get started, Bella. Who's here as we explore the superpower of integrous influence, please?
Exploring the superpower of integrous influence. And first up from Woodbridge, New Jersey, veteran corporate finance attorney with over 30 years of experience, currently of counsel at corporate law firm, specializing in healthcare, M&A, and lending, expert in HUD finding, private fund formations, structuring complex high-value deals, a strategic advisor with deep industry insights, delivering confidence and clarity in every transaction. Let's welcome to the show, Mark Zaffron.
Well, thank you for having me.
Mark, warm welcome to the Andrea Catania Heart of Influence. And Mark, please note this. Plato, the Greek philosopher, a dear friend of Andrea's, Bella, and mine, said, play a game with me for an hour and we will learn more about each other than if we speak for a year. So Mark, we kick this game off with a fun fact. It's a headline, not a story. Bella Vrita has her Chuck Barris gong show gong if we go into story mode, but it's an adventurous moment, proud moment, surprising moment, shocking moment, any moment, Mark, that would make us utter Mark. No way. So please, Mark, what is your headline fun fact?
About myself or in general?
About yourself, something that would get us to know you.
Oh, that's easy. Every so often, I like to get on stage at my wife's shows and do stand-up comedy.
That's amazing. When is the last time you've taken the stage in a stand-up comedy moment?
A couple of weeks ago.
That's nice. I love it. And what's your favorite topic for your comedy?
Well, it used to be Joe Biden, but now, now that he's rode off into the sunset, right now I'm concentrating on Miss Crockett from Texas.
Having a lot of fun. I
She's funny.
hear you, Mark. Let's go get it. Mark is in the house, Bella Rita. Who else is here?
Rolling with Mark from Morristown, New Jersey, esteemed tax and corporate attorney, helping families and entrepreneurs protect assets and plan with confidence. Nationally recognized speaker and author on elder law, business planning, and legacy creation. A fierce advocate with deep technical knowledge, known for turning complexity into clarity and calm. Let's welcome to the show, Deirdre Whitley Liss.
Thank you very much.
Deirdre and the crowd goes wild. Please, your fun fact.
I have a black belt in Taekwondo.
Wow.
Nice,
Oh,
Deirdre.
there
That is
you go.
absolutely outstanding. Bella Rita, are you ready to throw down with Deirdre since you think you're tough? Let's see what happens here, Bella Rita. Come on.
I don't know if I'm ready to throw down with a black belt, because last time I was in any sort of martial arts was about when I was 12, and I think I made it to yellow belt, so I'm not sure I'd be much competition for Deirdre, but we'll give it a shot, Sean.
Except Deirdre, Bella thinks she beat me in wrestling on Necker Island. It's a story for a later day. Come on, Belle.
I don't think I did, Deirdre. I actually did, but we will save that story for a different day. Rolling from Lenexa, Kansas, a founder of a tax and accounting firm delivering expert tax, payroll, and advisory services to entrepreneurs and small businesses nationwide. Renowned for transforming complex financial data into clear, strategic decisions that fuel growth. A purpose-driven leader on a mission to empower business owners with confidence, clarity, and control. Let's welcome to the show, Darlis Malindi.
Thank you.
And it's Darlis?
Yes, that's right.
Awesome. Beautiful name, Darlis. And please, your fun fact.
My fun fact is I've had some interesting pets in my life when I was growing up. I had pet mice and pet tadpoles. So that was pretty fun.
Tadpoles, Bella Rita. This is fun. We have, and I'm going to go with my Courtney fun fact for today when it comes around in honor of Darlis. So Darlis, warm welcome. Thank you for being here. And Bella, come on.
Sean, I think I'm going to get you some pet tadpoles for your next birthday. I think that seems like a really good birthday present for you.
I think so. I would love pet tadpoles.
Yes, I'm going to get you some pet tadpoles. Next up from Amarillo, Texas, former U.S. Lieutenant Colonel, 15 years of decorated leadership in global operations. Thank you for your service. Known for courage, precision, and service. Founder of multiple ventures, fusing military discipline with entrepreneurial innovation. Now a strategic business consultant, building powerful teams and systems that drive results and create lasting impact. Let's welcome to the show, Forrest King.
Hi, guys. How's it going?
Forrest, warm welcome to the Heart of Influence, and please, your fun fact.
My fun fact is I have 5 birth children and a stepson, and my stepson looks like me too. So I have 6 kids, and I love them each individually, and 4 of them are in college. 1 goes to school on a softball scholarship, and then my son goes to U of H here in Houston, and then I have 2 little girls. So that is my fun fact. I'm a daddy, and I love my babies.
Well, Forrest, congratulations on being a daddy, loving his babies. Warm welcome to the Heart of Influence. Bella, who's joining Forrest?
Joining Forrest all the way over from Pennsylvania, a seasoned wealth advisor with 30 plus years specializing in comprehensive wealth planning, retirement strategies, and insurance solutions. Author of several impactful books offering practical guidance on protecting financial stability during crucial chronic or terminal illness. Deeply committed to service, treasurer for a community association, actively supports a variety of organizations to drive meaningful change. Let's welcome to the show, David Barral.
David, warm welcome to the Heart of Influence. Thanks for being here. Congratulations on all of your impact. And please, your fun fact.
Well, one time I helped the government of Hong Kong, which was about to be transferred from England to Communist China. I helped them by conducting an economic impact study of whether they should build a new airport and port project. And the work led to the building the world's largest public works project at the time.
Wow.
And opened up the Hong Kong airport as a result of that. And then once
you're a
I
pretty
did
smart
that,
dude.
I was kicked out. So they said, if you do any more work here, then we'll have to suspect that everything was geared towards that. So it was
Wow.
it was meant to be analytical.
Dude, you're smart. Yes?
No, we just keep trying harder.
That's awesome. Belvrita, I still think he's smart and he tries hard. Come on.
He is definitely smart and he tries hard. Welcome, David, to the Heart of Influence and the woman that brought us all together today from Nutley, New Jersey, the deal attorney, having led over 200 capital market transactions in the past 25 years, taking companies public in the 7 different ways to do so. 2 years out of law school, built a multi-million-dollar solo practice from her basement as a single mom with 2 young daughters, proudly serving for over a decade on the board of National Investment Banking Association, helping companies get connected through thousands of members and funding sources. Executive producer of the Heart of Influence, general counsel, and chief ecosystem officer at Callagy Law. Let's welcome to the show, Andrea Cattaneo.
AC, warm welcome. Please, your fun fact.
Well, Sean Callagy, I am a 62-year-old grandmother, not 63 like you mentioned the other day, who is now up to 1,100 push-ups in one day, and I do it for my self-mastery and my endorphins.
Well, first of all, Andrea, you look, you act, you seem like you're 29. So forgive me for adding a year. I was also very clear and present to the amazing self-mastery. And this woman's taken 200 companies public in the 7 different ways you can. That is rock star status, period. And Andrea, thank you. Thank you. And shall we do the things?
Let's do the things.
Belvrita, Andrea's in the house, but you've been doing the introducing. This incredible woman who's been introducing everyone started her career in influence as an 8-year-old selling crafts on her parents' front lawn. By the age of 19, 3 words together that don't go together except for her, teenager, network marketing, and 7 figures, $1 million network marketing business, 19 years old. That's crazy. Then 24, 25, 26, since we're in March Madness, she was three-peating like Michael Jordan, except not, instead in business brokerage. #1 business broker, first woman ever to do it, let alone 3 straight times. And ready, in the male-dominated industry, take this, dudes. She beat all the men as the youngest person ever to be Nevada's #1 business broker, period. She's like, I'm pretty dang cool. So she starts training Fortune 500 companies and entrepreneurs. In fact, in 2019, did I say every? Yes, I did. Every sales team she worked with doubled their sales. Skier, surfer, scuba diver, adventurer. Today, it's a blind man. She's liking the introduction. I hope it's still that way by 7, 8, 9, 10 p.m. tonight. We'll see. But of course, this incredible woman is also a philanthropist that raised $10 million plus with the Unblinded team. And in 2023, she publicly battled and defeated cancer. Let's welcome to the Andrea Cattaneo Heart of Influence, the woman in her 1600th plus episode that put the heart in it, the one, the only, Bella Burrito. Warm welcome, Bella. Your fun fact.
I think, Sean, if I'm not mistaken, I think my fun fact for today, you're a little bit better at math than I am, but I do believe by the end of this year, I will have co-hosted more Hearts of Influence episodes than Howard Stern has had radio shows on Sirius Radio for 19 years. Is that correct?
I believe that is 100% correct, Belvrita, because you are a rock star. You are Lucille Ball meets Howard Stern or something like that. Let's do the things.
Let's do the things. Let me introduce my co-host, the man that Tony Robbins said, there's no one who leads with more heart and more integrity than Sean Callagy. He beats world champions like Bet Key at body surfing competitions. He's only one of 2 attorneys to win 2 top 100 national jury verdicts between 2014 and 2016, and the only one that's blind out of 1.2 million attorneys. In fact, the state of New Jersey actually named him one of New Jersey's most influential attorneys. He has spoken on stages such as Disney, T-Mobile, Salesforce, Tony Robbins 18 times. And when he's not busy flying around speaking on the stages of Fortune 50 companies, the Fortune 500 companies, he is an incredible philanthropist that in the last 2 years raised $10 million for charities. Let's welcome to the show, Mr. Sean Callagy.
Bella Rita, thank you, everyone. Warm welcome on the Heart of Influence on this Mastery Monday. And I'm going to go with this as my fun fact. I often start with, I'm a blind man that has taught sighted people to ski, to surf, and to scuba dive in the most extreme of conditions. We're talking shark-infested waters, moguls, blizzards. We're talking hurricane-level conditions in the ocean. All true. But today I'm going to go with this. My beautiful daughter, Courtney, who works at one of America's top zoos, has the beautiful privilege of enjoying a brand new baby elephant, Jet, as a researcher that she is working with. And Jet is a grand total of like 2.5 feet tall. So you can check out Jet online at the St. Louis Zoo, as well as this fact, Bella. They just got 2 new polar bears. So that is my, they made a trade. They made a trade to farm for breeding purposes out Papa Polar Bear with their Mama Polar Bear, and they got the baby polar bears back to the St. Louis Zoo for some very interesting polar bear trading. So that's my fun fact for today.
That sounds like some interesting trading for sure.
Yes. So Bella, who's going first?
How about we kick this show off with Mark?
Mark, hello. So listen, we're exploring integrous influence. What does it look like when yes is cause? Because we believe around these parts, maybe we're wrong, I don't think so, that everything happens after yes. Leadership, management, recruitment, fundraising, for profit, not for profit, marketing, selling, like the creation of the United States, George Washington and company, Abraham Lincoln, keeping everybody together, how presidents are elected, Donald Trump, Barack Obama, Ronald Reagan, take your pick of who you do like, who you don't like. But at the end of the day, Oprah Winfrey, Martin Luther King, all of these people, what they held in common was the ability to cause people to say one word, yes. Now, we don't like so much the idea of pitching, hooking, closing, and the non-integrous, pressurized yes, but what does it look like when heart-centered, integrous people come together? Yes should happen. And how do we create it? Like, what's the how-to? So to illustrate this, you'll be joining, Mark, thank you, the more than 8,000 people who've been on the show in our research and development laboratory, where people get to meet other cool people like yourselves. And Bella could be an ideal client. She could be a charitable fundraising partner. She could be somebody famous like Oprah Winfrey, Warren Buffett. Heck, she could be Abraham Lincoln. I've heard they look alike. I'm blind. I'm not sure. But anyone that you'd want to be going from hello to yes with, that's a specific personal ideal avatar. It doesn't have to be a sale. Could be any kind of a yes, including a yes, just to have a longer conversation. So please, Mark, who would you like Bella Rita to be?
Now, I'm supposed to convince Bella Rita to do something that you're not telling me what I'm supposed to convince her to do, right?
Yeah, I mean, what a lot of people,
we should just pick a topic and then we convince her that she'll keep the conversation going longer.
Yeah, it could be like she's a potential client of yours. It could be for charity. It could be to influence somebody on a political position or who their favorite sports team should be. Something that would make sense to you, though. Like, what will be beneficial to you to work through yeses that you create? That's the concept.
That's easy. Bella, tell me one topic that you have a strongly held belief on for no good reason.
A topic that I have a strongly held belief on for no good reason. I don't know if it's for no good reason, but definitely like animal safety and care, the protection of animals.
That's easy. That's emotional.
Okay.
How would I convince you not to like animals? I tell you about my cockatiels who are annoying, right? They think they're
right.
dinosaurs.
Take us in. You got 3 minutes. This is fun. Great job.
I mean, you could learn to hate animals by having cockatiels, and they're the most warm animals on earth. Because he's laughing. Because the truth is, cockatiels convince you that they're dinosaurs.
How was that?
Who wants to have a dinosaur in their house?
Yeah, I don't think I want any dinosaurs in my house.
But then you get cockatiels. They're just little birds. You get in a nice little store. They're cute and everything else. All right.
But don't they talk a lot and like make a lot of noise?
Worse, they get into your ears and they like to go into your teeth. They like to hang out over here and sleep on you. Last night, I came into my bedroom to find a cockatiel on my wife while she's sleeping, staring at the television set. Oh, and they like to watch television. It's like having children. So really, animal safety and health, how do you keep a bird safe when they actually run you? And don't ever believe they're called bird brains.
Don't ever believe what?
That they're called bird brains. They're smarter than we are.
And so how long have you had this cockatoo? Because
So
now
then
I'm actually kind of interested in
Here's
how
why
it's
you don't want to
cockatoo.
protect that. This is a protection story, right? So we have an apartment in Manhattan. My wife and my daughter went downstairs to a marijuana store and found 2 cockatiels in a cage they were getting smoke blown on them all day. They basically took them, said to take them upstairs, and we called them the rescue cockatiels. But then
So let me get this straight. I just want to make sure I understood
Get it
this
straight.
correctly.
There you go. There you go.
Your wife and daughter went to a marijuana store and came home with cockatoos. Did I hear that correctly?
Yeah, why not? They're performers. They don't do anything normal.
They don't do anything normal.
One's a stand-up comic and one's a singer. You're not going to get normalcy out of that. They brought the cockatiels upstairs, and the next thing I know, I have cockatiels, rescue birds. All right? It'll teach you not to worry about other people's animals. Because after you rescue them, it becomes the bigger cage, and then teaching them how to fly in the house. And then what are we going to do with them when we come back from Los Angeles to New York? You stick your neck out rescuing animals. You never know where you're going to get.
This is very true. This is very true. So do you travel back and forth from LA to New York? Do you take the cockatoos?
Well, it's been suggested by my wife to take the cockatiels. I said, why don't you have your assistant come into the house? I said, to go back for my daughter's show, there's no reason to just bring the cockatiels. They've done this to me before, like the time they took home a dog from Washington Square Park, thinking it was the other dog. It wasn't the dog they thought it was, but they thought they were saving this dog. There is saving animals has its limits. I mean,
It does. Well, the next time Sean visits the marijuana store, I will make sure that he does not come home with cockatoos.
You can't, Sean. They closed them all down. Now the only marijuana stores are the ones run by not-for-profits who originally set up to house homeless people and get them off drugs.
Yes, I am clear, and I have never, ever partaken in marijuana in my life or any drug, but I have accompanied Bella and her entire family to marijuana stores. In Fun Energy. So, Mark,
Mark's wife and daughter went downstairs to a marijuana store and came back with 2 cockatoos.
That is, yes, I am clear.
They were rescue cockatiels. They didn't like them. The kids were like using lighters on their tails. They were in bad shape when we got them, but it teaches you end up with a responsibility. You think you can save something.
Yes. Mark, I
think, Sean, I think we need office cockatoos now.
Oh my God. Yes, that's now we have, which I'm very thankful for. We have our Doberman, Emily. But Bella, I told her we would never get a dog no matter what was happening. And I lost Mark. So yes. So Bella Rita, we're coming back with Mark in a moment. Who's up?
Next up, we got Deirdre.
Yeah, I always lose to Bella, Deirdre. So you are that Taekwondo master. If you could help me maybe with some of my own self-mastery to stand up to Bella, I'd be very appreciative. But for now, who would you like Bella to be, Deirdre?
So Bella, I work a lot with owners of closely held businesses, and I work a lot with women who own closely held businesses.
Oh.
And I think that you might have some experience with that, being a woman who owns a lot of businesses.
Yes,
I do.
All right, take us in.
Excellent. So, Bella, maybe we're, meeting at an event or meeting, got introduced, or we're meeting over Zoom or something along those lines. And what I really like to do when I'm meeting someone who owns a business, because just like Darlis had said, I am a terminally curious person. I love hearing about your business and what is it that you do, and then talk about how maybe I can help.
Okay, sounds good.
So why don't you tell me a little bit more about your business?
Yeah, thank you so much, Deirdre. I own a shoe warehousing brand. I manufacture and distribute shoes. And but we have a little bit of a different model in all of our employees are women that have come out of hardship, hardship situation, maybe abuse situation. All of our team members have come out of some hardship, and we have a way to earn in, and where those that are working for the company have a way to earn in equity with the company, and so we're looking to grow and expand.
That sounds absolutely wonderful. So do you have like an ESOP or something like that so that your employees can become owners of your company?
We've looked at doing something like that, but we haven't initiated anything like an ESOP yet.
Gotcha. So I love the story that you're talking about here. And the reason I mentioned ESOP, so I'm a tax attorney. I know I don't look like one. People usually don't think a tax attorney like is really passionate about what they do. But I figure the government wrote the tax code, and candidly, they don't do a really good job at it. And, it's not really loopholes as much as finding what they didn't cover as they go from administration to administration, changing things. So, what I'd love to do, Bella, an ESOP in your situation, I've had other clients that have had an opportunity to work with that. And because I'm a tax attorney, I really love people paying their legal minimum in taxes. So one of the things I love, if you have like 5 minutes sometime, just to share with you sort of how it is that it works. It might give you a couple of pieces of insight that you could take back when you're looking at your company achieving what you're already achieving, but maybe doing it in a more tax efficient manner than you're doing it right now.
That sounds very interesting, Deidre. You sound very certain and inspiring, and I would definitely like to find out some more information.
Excellent. So do I do another one? Because I got a minute left. I think I was too quick on the 3 minutes. I was so worried about going over.
No, you did absolutely fantastic, Deidre. Great job.
Thank you. Thank you.
Awesome. So great job, Deirdre. Great job, Mark. And next we get to the judges, otherwise known as feedbackers. Feedbackers, this is going to be 30 seconds of feedback for either Mark or Deidre, something that they did great, something that they could do to improve. And then what's the next step? Is that next step you'd rather go to the dentist and have a root canal than have a longer conversation with Mark or Deidre? I don't think you want to do that because one can save you money and one can help you save animals. So I don't know that we want to do a root canal instead. But maybe that next step is like a little mocha choco latte and a little croissante from Starbucks for a little bit longer of a meeting. If that's not enough time, how about a dinner at Capitol Grill in a private room with the seafood tower and the nice juicy steak? Unless you're a vegan, of course. Maybe you're having salad and French fries, but you're not going to skip out on dessert. And so let's kick it off with Mark. And Mark, how about your 30 seconds of feedback? Oh, no, I'm sorry. Darlis, let's go. Darlis, your 30 seconds of feedback from Mark, please. Or just unmute for us, Darlis.
Oh, I thought Mark was good. He kind of asked you about your interest, and so it was very good to know more about you so that he could be able to convince you. So I thought he had a very strategic way of trying to convince you. So I thought that was good.
Oh, was it strong enough that would be a cup of coffee, a meal, something longer? What would the follow-up step be in terms of the quality of what happened?
Yes, I think so. I think she seemed very interested into talking to him some more. So yes, I think she would schedule time to meet with him for coffee, I would say.
All right. We got some caffeine flowing from Darlis, Bella. Come on.
Caffeine is flowing. Let's go. David, how about your 30 seconds of feedback for Deirdre?
So Deirdre was more matter of fact in what she does and how she could help you develop your business entity. And so I think that if that were to click in what a person's needs are listening in, then they would go that way. So I thought she was a little bit more direct on that than Mark. Mark did the human interest side of things, where he talked about his pot smoking bird, and but that either way is effective. But I think Mark is like, oh, I want to learn more about this funny guy, and his wife's comedian, and in the other case, it's wow, this person really knows her stuff about this area of expertise she has, and maybe that's something that would resonate with me, but also has a chance of not resonating. So that's where I would see the difference.
So David, strong enough that there'd be a follow-up cup of coffee, maybe a meal, or maybe 2 pot smoking cockatiels coming home, or what?
Well, he certainly is a strong advocate for raising birds. And the truth of the matter is that I just moved a week or so ago, and as soon as we get certain things done, we're going to set up a chicken coop and go back to raising our chickens. So I have a certain amount of empathy with him. Chickens are great. They make great house pets, unlike Saturday Night Live.
Yes, I'm appreciating your wit and humor as well, David. Well done. Bill Vrita, please.
Yes, let's go. Next up, we got Forrest King. Forrest, how about your 30 seconds of feedback for Mark, please?
Um, so I like the committee aspect of it, and I like the straightforwardness. Because especially I'm not exactly sure where he's from, but I know that people on the East Coast are pretty blunt. So that caught my attention. So the pot smoking bird, that was pretty funny. So if you can make them laugh, everybody knows that laughing is good marketing. So that was you're definitely gonna want to sit down and have a cup of coffee after that. Pretty straightforward, cut to the chase.
Yeah. Well, and Forrest, I would certainly want to share that bluntness is not reserved for the East Coast, since I am from the East Coast. Bella's from Texas, and I think Bella defines bluntness. So thank you, Forrest, and back to you. At least towards me. Now, maybe not towards everybody else, but at least towards me. Bella, back to you.
That is super funny. Let's go, Andrea Catania. How about your 30 seconds of feedback for Deirdre, please?
We have 3 D named people today, Bella. Deirdre, David, and Darlis. This is like the day of the
I know,
Ds.
that is amazing. And I'm usually not here this long, but I couldn't resist hearing these stories. Deirdre, really incredible job in just drawing Bella in by asking really good questions and making it about her and making her feel seen, heard, and understood, and that what she had to say really mattered to you. And I think you made her curious about you. And then you really did a beautiful job outlining your expertise and how you could specifically help her. So if I were Bella, I'd want to know more. I would want to learn more about you. And you know what? You're also likable. And people do like to do business with people they like. You were positive. Bella used the word, you seemed very certain. And certainty is attractive. So anyway, I would have a seafood tower at the Capitol Grill for my longer meeting. Coffee would not be enough. So back over to you, Bella and Sean.
Thank you, Andrea Catania. Pot smoking cockatiels, impact part, most beautiful things all present today. Bella, and please, Miss Bella Rita, take it easy on me, please, because I don't smoke pot. Over to you.
I'm going to try. So Andrea Catania and everybody, this is the time in the show that I get to put my co-host on the hot seat, that he has on things that he has no idea about, because I've been cooking them up as the show has been going on. Andrea, I have 2 scenarios for you to choose from today that Sean can go from hello to yes on. You can choose one of my scenarios. You can change anything about the scenarios, or you can scratch them all together and come up with something much harder on your own. Are you ready to hear what I have for today?
I am ready.
All right. So since Mark mentioned Miss Crockett of Texas, so I thought option number 1 is Sean could role play Mark going from hello to yes with Miss Crockett to donate $10,000 to Marijuana Cockatoo Rescue. So that is option number 1, to rescue cockatoos. And option number 2 is, I was reading, one of my favorite coffee companies over there is Blue Bottle Coffee, and they are a good company that could ESOP. And so option number 2, Andrea, is Sean would role play Deirdre going from hello to yes with Carl, the CEO of Blue Bottle, to sit down and have a conversation about ESOPing. So those are the 2 options I have for you today. Andrea, any of those tickle your fancy, or do you have something much harder you'd like to see Sean do?
I think they're pretty good, Bella. I think I'm going to go with, hold up your fingers, crowd. Which one are you thinking is going to be more fun role play for Sean to be put on the hot seat? No one's going to participate. I'm going to pick number 2.
Number 2. And Andrea, who would you like to play? How about we go with David as Carl, the CEO of Blue Bottle?
Exactly what I was thinking. Go for it. David,
all right, David, are you up for playing Carl, the CEO of Blue Bottle? And Sean, you're going to play Deirdre, going from hello to yes to set a meeting to talk about possibly ESOPing.
Sounds
Are
good.
you up for this, David?
I'm up for it. Do you want me to wind up as a positive or a negative? Or
You could be
as well.
Bella's going to tell you that she wants you to be as difficult as possible for me.
It's a banker, right?
Yes, 100%. All right, take us in.
Okay, wait, Belle, one more time real quick. So the name of the CEO is?
Carl,
and the conversation is around ESOPing. Is that correct?
correct. Setting a meeting to have a conversation about it. Yes.
And the company does what?
Makes coffee.
Makes coffee. Okay.
Yes, that
So
that brown stuff that most of the population drinks, except for you. Yes.
Yes,
So
I've
it's a
never
coffee
smoked pot.
shop, or is it a coffee roaster? And you
Both.
have
So they do roast their own
Where's the bottle
coffee,
come?
and they
They
have a
roast their own
coffee. They have coffee shops as well. Yep.
So they retail. Okay. And our goal is obviously one shop is not enough to make money. So I want to have 100 shops and so on. So I need to have this conversation. Okay.
And
All
we'll
right.
call him Mr. Jones. Is that cool, Belle?
Sure.
Okay. So hello, is Mr. Jones available?
I'm sorry, he's on another call. Can I help you? No. Yes, this is Mr. Jones. You just called me on my way out.
Yeah. So this is Deidre. We had a 3-minute conversation scheduled for today, Mr. Jones. Is it still a good time? It sounds like maybe it's not.
Well, no, it's I can give you a couple of minutes. I'm a little rushed today though.
Sure. No, listen, I'm super grateful. I know who you are, all the things that you're up to. I'm super grateful for accepting this conversation in the first place. I will keep it to our 2 minutes and 45 seconds left. But Mr. Jones, if I may ask, what prompted you to accept this call in the first place? Very grateful for it, but what was the prompt behind it?
Well, we have a coffee roasting business in a cafe. And one thing I've learned is that the way to make $1 million in the coffee cafe business is to start off with $2 million. So we have a certain amount of overhead and it's just one shop. And so we can't amortize it there. So what I'd like to do is I like to expand it. But to do that, I need to have a commitment from the staff that I have to stick with it and help us expand. Otherwise, it's bad enough when things go bad. I got to go in there behind the coffee machine. I can't do that in 5 shops. So I think in order to make this work, we have to have more shops. But to do that, I need to build up a core of people.
Yeah. Well, thank you for that, Mr. Jones, for sure. And so the ultimate vision is obviously growth. Is this a passion project? Is this your primary cash component of your life? Like, do you need cash now? Is it cash later? Is it magic impact? What's the ultimate why behind you're doing this, Mr. Jones?
Well, I'm a lawyer by day, and that's so hideously boring that I needed to come up with something else. So I tried comedy and I tried Taekwondo, and now I've branched into the coffee shop business. And so we had a coffee shop, then we added roasting. And now we have little blue bottles to put our cold brew in. And so this is like starting to take off, but we really have to take it to the next level. Otherwise, my day job is financing my night job.
Understood. And do you want your night job to take your day job away? Or this is kind of like Taekwondo aside, fun project, passion project, or you do believe that this can be really the thing for you?
Well, it's sort of like Schultz of Starbucks. I don't know if he knew that what he was getting into. So you never know where these things lead. And besides, just practicing law all day is hideously boring. So I'm always looking for something else.
Yeah. So with 2 hideously borings, I'm clear that if this could happen, this would make your heart quite happy.
I think so. Yeah. Because
awesome.
we would open up. We would set up open mic nights at all these places, and have some artistry at these places.
Cool.
Maybe some. We could do all sorts of things.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll even serve Middle Eastern food.
That would be amazing. So, Mr. Jones, in the final minute or so that we have, can I share a couple quick things to see how it resonates or not? I know you're busy. I know we're at time. Can I share a couple of final quick things? Okay. So, Mr. Jones, what I do is I take this little known provision of the tax code that at one time was a way people could push life insurance. And what it's become is a remarkable mechanism for growth, employee retention, and quite critically, the way to replace your day job with your night passion, not waiting for a final exit. And there's a whole ton of stuff in between an actual ESOP and the progression of mechanisms that can get us to that place. I know we're at time, and here's what I propose to you, busy guy that you are. I propose we have a 30-minute follow-up conversation, and I will put $5,000 in escrow in your attorney trust account. I fancy that you're an amazing lawyer, but I'm quite confident that very few lawyers bill more than $5,000 an hour. So I want to protect your time with my investment in it and invest in my own time. The outcome would be that if I don't blow your mind, you blow me off, you tell the internet I'm ridiculous and a liar, and you keep the $5,000. But if it goes well, the 30 minutes would lead into an even longer meeting where we could blueprint out how you could build, grow, scale everything you're doing. Because I have taken a deeper dive, I've taken a look, and this is particularly exciting. I don't push a product. I'm not pushing ESOP here. I think it's premature. However, I do have other strategies and solutions with the people I work with that could create the mechanism for scaling, growth, and exit as soon as possible. 3 years, you need to hold the stock to have your first ESOP. And what I tell people all the time is diversify the value. I have no doubt that your primary asset, even if you're, meaningfully cash wealthy on the side, will be this enterprise in the next 24 months. So I'm going to pause there. I know you got to go, Mr. Jones, but how would it resonate with you or not to have a 30-minute follow-up conversation so we could begin to build a lifelong relationship, get you out of your hideous day job into your ultimate passion? Please, Mr. Jones.
I guess I would accept that 30-minute call.
Yeah, awesome. Well, and I'll set that up with your assistant, Tom, as we set up this meeting. Shall I do that?
Yes, please do.
Awesome. Out of roll, let's pause. David, love it. Love your wit, your humor, your integration of other facts from the other fine folks that were here. We'll come back to that in one moment. But Deirdre, unprepared, not having any real mastery in ESOPs whatsoever, you did a beautiful job. How did I do as you hear Deirdre having a conversation with David, Mr. Jones, about setting up a follow-up meeting, please?
No, I think you did a great job. It's clear that you have, I'm going to say the word script, but I think that like devalues that you have a process. That's a better word for how you're having a conversation with someone. And I have to say, Sean, I was sort of taking notes. You're clearly listening very carefully to where the ultimate pain points are, right? He's got a hideous day job. He doesn't want it. So anything that we can do to be able to support that. And I really liked how you said this isn't the only tool. I mean, it was a brief conversation with Bella, but there's other tools in the toolbox just to be able to help David or Mr. Jones, as the case may be able to see what he doesn't know that's out there that can support him on his journey to his goal.
Amen. And Deirdre, I really do mean it. You did a wonderful job. I'm a huge advocate of ESOPs, by the way. So for longer story, for different conversation, I believe in people diversifying, their value and taking cash off the table. I think so many business owners miss the window and create catastrophic outcomes in their life and their business. That's a story for a different day, but I really appreciate, Deirdre, the job you did. And overall, Deirdre, and thank you for the acknowledgement. And yes, I would say never a script. I have no script, but there is an intentional, integrous structure to how we open the listening to people and move forward when yes should happen, as I do believe somebody in David's position or Mr. Jones's position absolutely should be having a conversation with you. So Deirdre, how was your time overall on Andrea's Heart of Influence?
Oh, I've already learned so much, and just the idea of just what you just said, being intentional in a conversation, but in a way that helps that person. It's not intentional for you, Sean. Oh, excuse me. It's intentional for what can we do so that that person can have more knowledge and be more empowered, which is always that's always so exciting for business owners because they're so busy being focused in their business that they don't necessarily bring in the knowledge or the other knowledgeable people for what else they can be doing with their business in terms of what it is. So I really appreciate the opportunity to be here today. It's really been quite fun.
Yeah, awesome, Deirdre. Thank you for that. David, thank you for jumping in as Mr. Jones. Couple quick thoughts. You are brilliant. I have no question. Don't know if you do see your day job as boring or not, but there's nothing, David, that you should be doing with your communication skill set and your mind that should even be remotely boring. You're way too talented. So that may have been a joke, maybe not. I'm not asking right now, but really impressed by and I'm going to tell you exactly why, because I don't like to give compliments like they're just to be ingratiating. The way you integrated other people in the show, it was fun, it was witty, it was in flow. Very few human beings can do that. That is a superpower. I can, you can, not a lot of people can. So that was noticed by me for sure. Beautiful work. And overall, sir, how was your time today on the Heart of Influence? Please, David.
So far, so good. I enjoyed listening to this and being engaged. And I was your proposal caused my jaw to drop. So that was like, wow, I never heard that before. So.
And David, I really do that. So like, I really do in situations where meetings are important to have, I will make proposals exactly like that. Wow. And like not uncommonly, so I truly do because, people are scared and they want to reverse risk. So I will even create risk reversal in sales meetings. And I've never had to pay anybody for having a meeting. So, but thank you for that. I appreciate that very much. And I really do mean it. I'm clear on how, what's the right word, how masterful you are. And so when I hear mastery, in depth, and experience listening, it always makes me a little bit extra jazzed because I know that there's things that could be supportive. So thank you for being here and becoming a part of the 8,000 plus people that are on the show, and bringing your mastery. So thank you, David.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, Forrest, thank you. Love the wit, the humor, the fun, your feedback. I'm clear you're seeing things. And Forrest, how was your time today on Andrea's Heart of Influence, please?
It was great. I'm sorry, I have attention deficit disorder, and I've studied billionaires, and so I try to utilize my minutes as much as possible, and I try to pay as much attention as I can. And I really enjoyed it. I liked how the stories, they were entertaining. And it was kind of cool for me because being in the situation, I had some work that I still had to get accomplished, and I was able to still be able to listen. And it was funny because it was interesting how much Mark stood out over all the talk and all the conversation overall. And I was listening as much as I possibly can. And to hear him really be able to stand out just with comedic aspirations, that really makes you stand out in your mind as far as marketing and stuff like that. So it was really growth centered meeting, and I enjoyed what we were talking about as far as the Coke, the coffee and the stuff like that, the blue bottles and things. And so just listening to everybody speak, and I'm pretty intelligent, so I just enjoyed it. It was a very great time.
Awesome. Thank you, Mark, bringing the energy, the heart, and the presence. Thank you. Ella Verita, please.
Let's go to the man that has opened my eyes on the next office animal that I need. And the next time that I am in Jersey, Sean, I think we need to go to New York, visit a marijuana store, and get us a couple cockatoos. But Mark, how was your time with us on the Heart of Influence?
Interesting, to say the least. I'm still trying to figure out what we're trying to accomplish here, but I think I get it. This is a marketing tool model. When you get other people on your internet, you see what they have to do, and you can get yourself a little time. I think it's kind of fascinating what you've done here.
Yeah, thank you, Mark. So, and to be super clear, what we're trying to do here is give away a free piece of chicken that is way more valuable than a free piece of chicken.
Well, isn't Baral the chicken guy?
Yes, that is true. But what we're doing, right, is we're giving the gift of people meeting each other for an hour that they didn't assemble. Not easy to do. We're giving people social media content. Anybody wants to chop this up and put it out, like you're on the show. 8,000 people have been on the show. We have awesome people. So we're giving free gifts, including the gift of introduction, which I'd like a lot more than chicken or wine, right? And then we begin to build a relationship with people from there, and people get to build relationships with each other. So
that's interesting. You'd be shocked what people build relationships from.
Yes,
I can do it online. I can do it online at the supermarket.
I think you'd be shocked at how much I understand about building relationships and scaling business, because this show has created hundreds of millions of dollars of value since its inception.
Okay.
Yeah, by the way, for us, as well as for other people, hundreds of millions.
How do you measure value from a podcast?
Because a guest on the show in its, 11th episode was Jessica Zampedri, who came to work for me.
Mm-hmm.
And now we have a $500 million valuation because she knew IOM providers. And today we collected $2.5 million for doctors, and we'll be at $30 million for the month. And that business is primarily built on IOM. It was an ancillary bolt-on business, and just that business alone was worth zero 3 years ago, and has now been valued by investment bankers in more than $500 million. And I could tell at least 10 more stories. So that would be one very direct.
You referring to Added Network Collections?
Yes.
Oh, interesting.
We're the number one firm in America that does federal IDR collections. Number one. Number two, law firm in America that does that. Yes. We will file more cases this year than the California Health System, which was number one in 2024 and building. Yep. I mean, that's not the only thing we do, right? I have a whole bunch of businesses, Unblinded Platform being one of them. But we've had people who built $1 million businesses just connecting with people on the show that they were on. So it is definitely something that's beyond real. So thank you for being a part of it. And it's an hour of your time, right? That's all. So anything else, Mark, that we could support you with right now?
No. Actually, that explains why. So we have some contacts on LinkedIn in common.
So are you involved in out of network collecting?
I've represented a significant number of out of network surgery centers over the years.
Oh,
it's a very interesting prospect. In fact, you ought to read one of my articles on splitting up the money in surgery centers. Based upon it was basically a rereading of the statute and the anti-assignment statute.
So can I ask this?
Basically, to put forth the proposition. It was in the AHR Healthcare Warriors Journal.
Do you do federal IDR recovery work?
No, my specialty is more along the lines of bricks and sticks. I'll finance your nursing home, your hospital.
Yeah, Mark,
your practice. It's what I do.
Yeah, there's no way that we couldn't have incredible things to do together.
Could be. I noticed we have a mutual client.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
I did his surgery centers and I've represented his hospital.
Awesome.
So it's I don't do IDR. I'm staying away from providers recently. It's very difficult these days. Money's very tight in healthcare. It's going to get worse.
Well, then maybe we should talk because we are finding an open area that is actually only getting better. And I'm not being sarcastic. Like it's truly incredible. So possibly.
No, I've seen marvelous things accomplished in out of network, and I've seen horrible things accomplished in out of network.
Yeah, no, for sure.
I don't think it's a sustainable area of healthcare. I think it, to a large extent, has dragged down the affordability of healthcare.
Yeah, except one issue is the federal IDR process, though, and I'm not being like silly and one-upping. Like, I would be happy to read your article, and I'd be happy if you read our book on the federal IDR process because it takes patients out of the equation completely. There's no balance billing, at least in surprise encounters, and it creates a mechanism to truly be out of network with a dispute resolution mechanism between those that are providers and insurance companies.
It isn't the dispute resolution mechanism that's the problem. The problem is a doctor who's doing an out-of-network surgery will bill as much as he thinks he can bill. So he'll think that, let's say he does a disc, which is a fairly serious surgery done in an ambulatory surgery center. He will bill what he thinks is the customary charge for that and then take somewhere in the middle. At the end of the day, what it does is it artificially increases the cost of medical care. And it's part of the problem today with allocating scarce Medicare dollars and scarce HMO dollars.
Yes. So I will pause there. I have a very different perspective on.
I'm sure you do. My perspective has been developed over 40 years of representing providers, and I've watched them do it. And overbilling is a way that they achieve what they consider to be what they're entitled to. Yes. I understand the IDR process. I understand fighting the insurance companies. At the end of the day, it comes down to the consumer is a patient. Patient comes in, he doesn't realize sometimes that his doctor is out of network, or if he goes to an out of network doctor, it's because the doctor's been touted as the best guy in the field. So he's then charged $150,000. They charge for the facility fee and the professional fee on, let's say, a disc surgery, and they collect $60,000. But it really should have been done for $40,000. It's like I'm giving the exaggerated viewpoint, but if we got rid of all the out of network and we started creating a little bit more regional models of what cost should be, we'd be able to bring down the cost without having to raise taxes or raise the Social Security system.
Or there's no more surprises, because you said the patient gets surprised. The No Surprises Act makes it illegal for the patient to be surprised, meaningful disclosure. So that problem was solved in 2022, which I agree was a problem for a long period of time. But I think the bigger problem is I want doctors telling their sons and daughters to go to medical school, not to go to law school. So because I want to work with the best people, the smartest people.
It's funny, but clients of mine who sent their kids to medical school, the kids don't practice medicine. They own like dialysis centers and work for things of that nature. A lot of doctors that get out aren't looking at things as care for patients anymore. For them, it's a business. So if you're in the dialysis business, you're going to go and open up dialysis centers, surgeons all want a piece of a surgery center. Everybody wants a piece of the means of production. But if you would the problem in this country is we have not established a proper rate at which a doctor can make a living, pay back his expenses, and live the quality of life that he wants to live without somewhat having to do things which are really not ethical in terms of their billing practices. So if you a perfect example is what Medicare or a managed care company would pay for a root canal. You'll pay $1,500 for a root canal, and United Healthcare will tell you it's worth $165. And then we'll reimburse you $35. We all know that United Healthcare is wrong and the doctor is wrong. It shouldn't cost the $1,500 for the root canal. It should cost closer to $700, and they should be reimbursed for the $700. Not United Healthcare claiming the reasonable cost is $800. When those are established by a company they all have founded, which does their research for them. So we have to reach a middle ground.
Well, but in the federal IDR process, isn't that what's happening? And guys, this is the last 10 seconds on this.
Yes.
Because there is now baseball style arbitration where the unreasonable party loses. So I'm not sure if I'm not being sarcastic. I've been in this business for 28 years. You've been in it for 40 years. I've represented medical providers against insurance companies since 1997. You've been doing it for a little bit longer. We both got decades of our life into it. And this new process, though, it's baseball style arbitration. There's a winner and a loser with the more reasonable party winning. Not sure if you're familiar with that.
I agree. We use baseball arbitration on leases all the time.
Yeah.
Makes a lot of sense. It's very good. But what the ultimate goal is, to be a system where you don't need IDR. And that's what the goal should be. And we have a failed Congress and years of failed presidents and everybody trying to satisfy a single, whatever the personal interest group is. The worst is the union. And approximately 45 to 50% of Medicare medical costs in a hospital is staff. And every year you see the staff votes for the staff, like 1199 has very good power. They vote in the governors of all 50 states. They're very powerful, and they dictate, and to a large extent, they dictate healthcare.
Yeah.
And then you have hospitals. It's a very, very, very cracked system, as you know, because you're in the area in which you're navigating. Where a doctor charges X, they're willing to be reimbursed. They have to get something in between. And your system with IDRs is based upon reasonableness.
Yes. So lots to talk about. I look forward to it. We're going to pause there just for
everybody. We can talk at any time. I'm more than willing to discuss it.
Yeah. Well, thank you for that, Mark. Appreciate that. So, and final, Darlis, thank you for being here today. And please, Darlis, how was your time on the Heart of Influence?
Thank you.
Oh, it was a very interesting 1 hour, and I really appreciated getting to know everyone and learning all about how to speak with others, to influence them. So it was really interesting. I appreciate it.
And that last piece was not a part of the day, as we were having a fine discussion from differing perspectives on something. So awesome. And Darlis, thank you for that. I know we're at time. Bella Verita, we have a couple of gifts for everybody, but I'll come to that in a second. Bella, your final.
Yeah, I just want to say thank you, everyone, for being here. It was an honor and a privilege. And definitely, if it makes sense to get to know each other, and let's get to know you guys more. And Sean, back to you.
Yeah, thank you for that, Bella. And everybody in final, we have our group influence book that's there for everyone. If that book was written, I wouldn't have written it, on the superpower of influence with integrity. And also, we have an acceleration session and follow-up for anybody that would like to take whatever you're up to in the world and your mission to a different level. This is not just about influence, but where to apply it, and emotionally, how to get yourselves to use it that's consistent with your ultimate mission, vision, and purpose in this world. And I end every show by saying this: I may be physically blind, which I am, but I'm absolutely certain as to the possibilities that exist for acceleration in this world, that at some level, all of those possibilities, Bella, sitting right in front of us, with those sitting right here, unfortunately, at some level, we are all blind.
And just learning to see. Bye-bye, everyone.
Thanks, everybody.